Hello, my name's Alan. I was on the VR earlier. I introduced myself to Ralph, who was doing the garden at the time. This is just a bit of a continuation of that interview. I'm now with Anne, who's the care home manager here at Nazareth Lodge. It was just really before we leave, we just wanted to catch up with the people that really do matter, which is of course the carers, the manager, well everybody really, the residents and so on and so forth. But for our part, on our departure, I just wanted, as I say, to catch up with the people. Just have a quick word to endorse the fact that it's been a great time for us. Let's go virtual here today, because we've managed to do the virtual tour, which we'll be working on when we get back to the office. But more than that, the people have been sensational. They have been so caring towards us. The staff are amazing. They do go about their business and look after the residents, but most definitely looked after us as well, because we had a cup of teas and all sorts here, but it's always given with a very smiling face, and it's just a wonderful feeling. It really does feel like home. So I'm sure every resident here is very, very happy. But this is Anne, who's the manager here at Nazareth Lodge.
Hello.
Hello. It was just really to touch base with you, Anne, about, we've come along today, of course, to do the virtual tour. It shows off, hopefully, when we've done it and we've finished it, how wonderful the facilities and the service and the staff, of course, are here. Again, speaking to Ralph earlier outside, who's the gardener, he's been here, I think, just a year now.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
He is absolutely delighted to be here. He sees the garden as his paradise, of course,
yeah,
which he spends, I guess, most of his time.
He does, yeah.
He's making a great job out there.
He
looks delightful, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I'm sure the other residents, of course, have their own things, and of course they have their own sort of hobbies in their own ways.
Yeah.
But just tell us a little bit about Nazareth, how it came to be, and so on and so forth, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, Nazareth Lodge has been privately owned for the last 30 years.
Okay.
It was always built to be a care home, so it's purpose built.
Yes.
So it's quite easy to move around. No funny little strange corners with funny little steps inside.
Right.
It's all very sort of smooth and
it is. We
easy to
found
move
that at
around.
all.
Yeah. So it's always been under single ownership, which has made it quite special,
Yes.
i.e. we're not part of a chain. So the emphasis has been on, just this home. And the beauty of having single ownership also means that, decisions can be made quickly.
Yes.
We haven't got to wait to sit before a board of people.
Right.
So it's quite spontaneous as well, which is nice. I think spontaneity, taking advantage of weather, of events that might be going on and things like that. In a small home like this, you can do it.
Yes, and I've noticed as well, from an accolade point of view, I've noticed the awards there in the reception area. Tremendous awards. I mean, we will be putting them actually on the virtual tour, because they are something to be extremely proud of course.
Yes.
Last year as well, 2017, the Care Award. So absolutely amazing. And I think, as I say, we haven't spoken to everybody here from a staff point of view, but you absolutely get the feel from this particular residential care home that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be happy.
Yeah.
It's not something where somebody's, unhappy about not getting something on the time that they should be getting it, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Everybody's really happy with each other's behaviour and service, aren't they? So.
I always think this word happy is quite a big word, isn't it? People have given up their homes, and it can be very distressing to come into another home.
Yes, of course.
The word I like to use, because I think it describes it really well, is contentment.
Wonderful,
Yeah, I think there's a huge amount of contentment amongst the staff and the residents.
Yes.
Because, trust me, whatever the staff are feeling is how the residents are going to feel.
Of course it is.
Because they transmit that.
Absolutely.
From the
It
moment
passes
they
on
walk in their
just
room.
like that, doesn't it?
And I've always been a firm believer, it doesn't matter how good the home is only as good as the carer that walks through that person's door in the morning.
No
And
doubt
they
about
can
it.
determine whether that resident's going to have a good day or not just by how they respond in those first few minutes of greeting them in the morning.
So it's
because that sets
absolutely
the tone.
crucial that the staff
Absolutely
are
crucial.
on their game.
That you invest in your staff.
You invest in the right people to do what they should be doing correctly.
Yeah.
And of course it's personality driven as well, isn't it?
Absolutely,
By setting the mood, setting the scene.
Yeah.
And as you say, because of the reliability needed from the residents, they do need obviously that face that makes them feel good, don't they?
And continuity of care.
Absolutely.
all of our staff have been here for a long time,
Right.
even the youngsters, because they've worked their way up from kitchen assistants.
Okay.
I currently have a very young kitchen assistant who's just hit the right age to start doing care, and she's expressed an interest in that.
Oh, wonderful.
We brought 2 apprentices up from youngsters through the ranks.
Right.
Indeed, my deputy manager
Mhm.
has worked here for 10 years and came in here as a very young girl who
Wonderful.
has worked her way up.
Good gracious.
So there's great continuity of care, and you know, if I was to say one thing that has to be, you know, the number one priority in a home, it has to be continuity of care, because you don't keep bad carers, you only keep good
Of
carers.
course.
And if those
Absolutely.
carers have been with you for a long time,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, your home is made. We never use agency staff
Right.
because, you know, our staff are prepared to come in and do the extra hours. We're fortunate, a lot of them live locally
Mhm.
because, you know, we're within a community, so a lot of them walk to work. So I know, you know, reliably that they can also get into work when it's snowing
Yes, of
and
course.
things like that.
As you say,
you know,
consistency
yeah,
of
yeah.
of staff again.
Yeah, so that's all very important too. And the other thing is, because the girls are from, and some of the gentlemen are from the local community,
Right.
when they come into work, they're looking after people from their same local community.
Right.
So therefore, they can bring the outside world in.
Yeah.
And when they have conversations with residents about what's going down in the local community hall, the residents know exactly what they're talking about, because
So it's nice and familiar.
they
to
used
them.
to, absolutely, you know,
Yeah.
so that's important.
Mm.
They know the surroundings outside, and there's that familiarity of understanding between staff and residents about the local community. So that's really important as well.
I think the thing is, of course, we do a lot of care homes. Of course, we do a lot of healthcare industry
Yeah.
work,
Yeah,
and bricks and mortar are one thing, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have, you know, a very pleasant-looking
yeah,
care home,
yeah,
but without the right people
yeah.
inside
always-
it to run it.
I've always said to people when they've been looking at homes, because if someone comes to look at our home, I always say to them, go and look at 2 or 3. Have a baseline, have a comparison.
Right.
You know, it's like buying a house. Sometimes you walk in the door and you don't know what it is. It says yes, this feels right, or no, it doesn't,
Right.
and you can't always put your finger on
No,
it.
no, no.
And you have to get it right for the person that you're looking for, or if you're choosing yourself. Church bells. Which is a big draw to the home, actually, because we
I'll
have a lot
bet.
of people who like to go to church
Yes,
but
of
haven't been
course.
able to.
It's
but
a wonderful
they can
backdrop
now.
as well. There's
Yeah.
Ralph just going by now.
Yeah, it's
I'm
beautiful.
sure. Hello. I'm
Here's,
sure
here's
he's.
my dog,
All right. Yes.
who's very much part of the home.
I've seen him wandering around.
Yeah, yeah,
And beautiful, wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
And you're happy too.
Yeah. She's 10
Um,
and a half. She's been coming here since she was 8 weeks old.
Good gracious.
And
me.
a lot of our residents come because we have a dog in the home,
Right.
because they've had to give up their dog sometimes.
Yes, I understand.
To come in. So yes, you know, continuity of care is very important. I slightly lost the link of where I was talking about. but
Well,
I'm sure
we
you can
were
do
talking
that
about the
bit.
church and the backdrop, and people like to go to it, and it's right next door. So
We have a
not too
very
far.
easy access slope
yes,
that takes people direct to the church.
yes.
So that has been a draw for some people who have liked to continue to practice their faith, because
Mhm.
it means now they can, where
Yes,
they've
of
had to
course.
give up for a while in the past. And of course we respect all denominations, and so
Yes.
therefore we do arrange for, you know, the Catholic priests to come
Mhm.
in, the Methodist priests to come in. So we also have every quarter we have an ecumenical service here, which we hold in the home. We invite all the local parishioners. The vicar comes in. We have the service in the evening. It's probably the nicest thing we do in the home.
marvellous.
Most of the residents come and their relatives. We usually have about 60 people here. And after we've had the service, we then have wine and a buffet supper.
Oh, fabulous.
And it's
yeah.
great, and everybody chatters, and it's a really nice evening.
Good
so we do
ambience,
that.
the whole
Yeah, yeah.
evening and so on and so forth.
We do that 4 times a year, as well as our fortnightly communion service,
Mm.
which we hold in the home. So
Mhm.
so that's
You
really
definitely feel, as we pulled up anyway, Robert and I, to do the tour today, we felt a real nice feeling about,
Yeah.
you know, coming in and,
Yeah.
and the way it was set up
yeah,
and the balance of things. I mean, it's seldom we get the opportunity to be involved also with the residents at the time we're doing
Yeah.
filming.
yes,
So it's a real good
Yes,
thing for us today
yeah,
because it's
yeah.
a real life
yeah,
rolling action film, really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah,
And yeah, it's been absolutely tremendous. You've certainly got my vote, that is a
Yeah,
fact.
good. good.
Really thank you for your time today.
That's all right.
It's been a pleasure working with you, certainly, and everybody that's been here. They've given us a wonderful time. It's about time for us to go now.
Okay.
So we'll perhaps catch up again very soon. But
Yeah.
all my love to the residents and the staff and yourself. And we most definitely will make this tour an extremely quality
Good.
tour.
Good.
Thanks, Ed.